The remarkable life and achievements of Marie Curie. Marie Curie was one of the most extraordinary scientists in history, famous for her groundbreaking work in radioactivity, a term that she herself coined. Her contributions to science not only advanced the understanding of atomic physics but also paved the way for medical applications, such as radiation therapy for cancer. Born November 7, 1867. Birthplace: Warsaw, Poland, then part of the Russian Empire. Marie Curie was born as Maria Sklodowska into a family of educators. Her father, Władysław Sklodowski, was a teacher of mathematics and physics, and her mother, Bronislawa, was a school teacher who passed away when Marie was just 10 years old, leaving a profound impact on her life. Despite financial hardships, she excelled in her studies from a young age. In 1891, at the age of 24, she moved to Paris to continue her education at the Sorbonne, University of Paris, where she adopted the French name Marie and later received degrees in physics and mathematics. The revolutionary achievements of Marie Curie. Marie Curie's early work was centered on radiation, which had been discovered by Henri Becquerel in 1896. He had found that uranium emitted rays, which could expose photographic plates. Marie Curie expanded on this discovery and began her own investigation into the mysterious phenomenon. In 1898, Curie and her husband, Pierre Curie, discovered two new elements. Polonium, named after her homeland, Poland, which was under Russian occupation at the time. Radium, named for the intense radiation it emitted. Her research showed that the elements emitted irradiation, a term she coined, and that the phenomenon was not the result of chemical reactions but rather a property of the atoms themselves. This work was pivotal in establishing the field of nuclear physics. Marie Curie made history in 1903 when she was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics alongside Henri Becquerel and her husband Pierre Curie for their work on radioactivity. She was the first woman to receive a Nobel Prize. In 1911, she received a second Nobel Prize, this time in chemistry, for her discovery of radium and polonium and for her investigation of their properties. She remains the only person to have won Nobel Prizes in two different scientific fields, physics and chemistry. The life and legacy of Marie Curie. Marie Curie's personal life was marked by both great triumphs and deep sorrows. Marriage to Pierre Curie. In 1895, she married Pierre Curie, a physicist known for his work on magnetism and crystallography. Together, they formed a scientific partnership that resulted in groundbreaking discoveries in the field of radioactivity. Pierre's death, 1906. In 1906, Pierre Curie tragically died in a street accident. This left Marie both devastated and with the challenge of continuing their shared work alone. Despite the deep loss, she pressed on, taking over her husband's teaching position at the Sorbonne and continuing her research. Later relationships. In 1911, after Pierre's death, Marie Curie was publicly criticized for her relationship with physicist Paul Langevin, who was married at the time. Despite the controversy, she continued to focus on her scientific work. Curie's discovery of radium had profound implications for medicine. In particular, the medical field began to experiment with radiotherapy as a treatment for cancer. Curie herself was deeply involved in this, and during World War I, she worked to establish mobile radiography units for the French military, helping to treat soldiers with injuries and detect shrapnel inside their bodies using X-rays. Marie Curie's relentless exposure to radiation, which was not yet understood to be hazardous, took a heavy toll on her health. She began suffering from various ailments, including aplastic anemia, a condition likely caused by prolonged exposure to radiation. Illness and death. Curie died on July 4, 1934, at the age of 66, from aplastic anemia, a consequence of her prolonged work with radioactive materials.
Marie Curie's legacy is immense. She was a trailblazer for women in science, breaking down barriers in a male-dominated field. Her pioneering work laid the foundation for future research in both nuclear physics and medical applications of radiation. She remains an iconic figure in the history of science and continues to inspire generations of scientists and women in STEM fields.